Good morning all of you. Today we'll start with a demonstration of lumbar vertebra. There are 5 lumbar vertebrae in our body, out of which first 4 are typical and the 5th lumbar vertebra is atypical. Before starting with the demonstration of lumbar vertebra, we should know the key point difference between the cervical vertebra, thoracic vertebra and lumbar vertebra. First, you see this vertebra. There is a foramen in the transverse process. This foramen is known as foramen transversorium, and this is a key feature of a typical cervical vertebra. In this vertebra, there are facets present on the body. These are the costal facets and also on the transverse process, and this is a key feature of a typical thoracic vertebra. But if you see a lumbar vertebra, a typical lumbar vertebra, there is no facets on the body, there is no foramen transversorium, and it is big in comparison to the cervical and thoracic vertebra. So this vertebra is lumbar vertebra. So by seeing these key features, you can identify the lumbar vertebra at a glance. So now, which surface is anterior, which is posterior, which is superior, which is inferior? This is body. Body of the lumbar vertebra lies anteriorly, and this process, which is known as spine, it lies posteriorly. Now, how to identify the superior and inferior? Can you identify this? This is known as pedicel. There is a notch here which is shallow and a notch below which is deep. The deeper notch lies inferiorly and the shallower lies superiorly. So this surface is superior and this is the inferior surface of lumbar vertebra. Now coming to the surface features of lumbar vertebra. This is body. Body has a superior surface and a inferior surface. It has a upper border and a lower border. In the middle, it is constricted. If you see, there is a constriction here, and if you feel it from above downward, this part is concave, and if you feel it like this, it is convex from side to side. Now coming to this foramen, this is known as vertebral foramen. This is triangular in shape in case of lumbar vertebra. If you see the vertebral foramen of cervical vertebra and lumbar vertebra, the vertebral foramen of cervical vertebra is bigger than the vertebral foramen of lumbar vertebra. And if you compare it with thoracic vertebra, the vertebral foramen of lumbar vertebra is larger than the vertebral foramen of thoracic vertebra. Now, coming to this part. Starting with the parts of the vertebral arch. First, this part. This is known as pedicel. It is short, thick. It extends from the body and goes backward. It forms a notch here. This is known as superior vertebral notch, and a deep notch which is known as inferior vertebral notch. Since this pedicel is attached near the upper border of the body, that is why the inferior vertebral notch is deeper and the superior vertebral notch is shallower. Now, coming to the next part. This is the lamina. Lamina is broad, thick part which is directed backwards and medially. This part, this is lamina. If you see the other vertebra, these two vertebrae, there is minimal overlapping of the two laminas in the lumbar vertebra. Coming to the next part, this is spinous process. This spinous process has an upper border, a lower border or inferior border. This is the posterior border, and the anterior border is fused with the lamina. The posterior border of the spine and the inferior border of the spine, they both are thick. Then coming to this process, this is the transverse process. The transverse process has an upper border, a lower border, This is the anterior surface and this is the posterior surface, and this part is known as tip of the transverse process. On the anterior surface of the transverse process there is a faint ridge, and on the posterior inferior part of the transverse process there is a elevation. This is known as accessory process. Actually, this transverse process is the costal element and it is homologous with the rib of the thoracic region, while this process, accessory process, is considered to be the true transverse process. Now, coming to these processes and these processes, these are superior articular processes and these are inferior articular processes. The distance between the two superior articular processes is more than the inferior articular processes in case of a typical lumbar vertebra. In the superior articular processes, there are facets. These facets face backwards and medially. And on the posterior border of the superior articular process, there is a prominence. This is known as mammillary. The inferior articular processes, they have facets, inferior articular facet, which face forwards and laterally. These facets articulate like this. Okay. Now, if you see an articulated vertebra, you can see that the size of the body, this is L1, L2, L3, L4, L5, they are increasing. L1, L2, L3, L4, L5, the size of the body is increasing. L5 is the biggest one. And if you see the transverse process, from L1 to L3 they are increasing, and after that it is decreasing. Okay. Now coming to the surface features of L5. L5, how to differentiate it? First point is, see this transverse process. This transverse process is pyramidal and it is covering the whole of the base of this transverse process is covering whole of this pedicel and is encroaching towards the body. But if you see a typical, it is till the pedicels only, it is not covering the pedicel completely and it is not encroaching towards the body. The second point is, if you see the distance between the superior articular processes and inferior articular processes, it is almost equal, or sometimes the distance between the inferior articular processes is more than the superior. You can compare it here. In a typical, the distance between the superior articular processes is more than the inferior articular processes. And see here, the transverse distance is more than this vertical distance, while here you can see this is more like a square or a trapezium, it is more like a rectangle. Okay. The body of the L5 is the biggest out of the 5. The facets on the superior articular process, they face more backward, and the facets on the inferior articular process, they face more forwards than laterally. Now coming to the attachments. Before the attachments, if you see this L5, if it articulates with the sacrum like this, it forms an angle, lumbosacral angle, which is roughly 120 degrees in adult. Now coming to the attachments. This surface, superior surface, gives attachment to intervertebral disc, and on the inferior surface also there is intervertebral disc. The next is on the anterior part of the upper and lower border of the body, there is attachment of anterior longitudinal ligament, and posteriorly there is attachment of posterior longitudinal ligament. Just lateral to this anterior longitudinal ligament, there is attachment of crus of diaphragm. The right crus is attached to the body of L1, L2, L3, while the left crus is attached to the body of the L1 and L2. Lateral to that, there is attachment of psoas major muscle in this area, and the tendinous arches are attached on this constricted part, and deep to that lumbar vessels and gray rami communicants or sympathetic chain pass. Okay, now coming to this vertebral foramen. This vertebral foramen is triangular in lumbar vertebra. Through this vertebral foramen, spinal meninges pass. And spinal meninges pass through the vertebral foramen of L1, L2, L3, L4, L5. In the vertebral foramen of first lumbar vertebra, there is conus medullaris, and the rest of the lumbar vertebra, there is cauda equina. Okay. Now, coming to the lamina. On the lamina, there is attachment of erector spinae muscle and multifidus muscle, which are the deep muscles of the back. These muscles are also attached on the spine, lateral surface of this spine. Okay. There is a ligament, ligamentum flavum, which is attached on the anterior surface of the lamina here. Now, coming to the next attachment, this transverse process. On this faint anterior ridge, there is attachment of thoracolumbar fascia. Which layer? Anterior layer of thoracolumbar fascia. And medial to that, there is attachment of psoas major muscle, and lateral to this faint ridge, there is attachment of quadratus lumborum muscle. On the tip of this transverse process, there is attachment of middle layer of thoracolumbar fascia on all the lumbar vertebrae. While on the L1 vertebra, on the tip of the transverse process, there is attachment of medial and lateral arcuate ligament, and on the tip of the transverse process of fifth lumbar vertebra, there is attachment of iliolumbar ligament. Okay. In between the two transverse processes, there is attachment of a muscle, intertransverse muscle. That intertransverse muscle has a medial part and a lateral part. The medial part is attached between these accessory processes, and the lateral part is attached between the lower border of upper vertebra and the upper border of lower vertebra. On this mammillary process, there is attachment of multifidus muscle and also the few fibers of medial intertransverse muscle. Now, coming to the attachments of spinous process. Here, there is attachment of the posterior layer of thoracolumbar fascia. I repeat, the anterior layer of thoracolumbar fascia is attached on this faint ridge on the anterior surface of transverse process. Middle layer of thoracolumbar fascia is attached on the tip of the transverse process, and the posterior layer of thoracolumbar fascia is attached on the posterior border of this spine of the lumbar vertebra. In between the spinous process, there is attachment of interspinous ligament, and here there is attachment of supraspinous ligament. On the sides of this interspinous ligament, there is attachment of interspinous muscle, and on the sides of it, there is attachment of erector spinae and multifidus muscle, which are the deep muscles of back. The superior and inferior articular processes, they form joint, which helps in the flexion and extension of the vertebra. Okay, I hope it is clear. Now we will see few pictures to identify. Thank you.
Okay, now you can see the vertebral column
This is the anterior view of the whole vertebral column. This is the posterior view, and this is the lateral view. In the lateral view, you can appreciate the primary curvature, secondary curvature. The secondary curvature of the cervical, the primary curvature of the thoracic vertebra, again secondary curvature of the lumbar vertebra, and then the primary curvature of the sacrum. Then in this vertebra, this is lumbar vertebra. Here you can appreciate this is the body of lumbar vertebra, a typical lumbar vertebra. This is the pedicel. These are the transverse processes. This is the superior articular process. This is the mammillary process. This is the spinous process. These are the laminas. And here you can appreciate accessory process. Now here, this is the articulated lumbar vertebrae, L1, L2, L3, L4, L5, and in between them there is intervertebral disc. This is the posterior view of the two lumbar vertebrae, where you can appreciate how the articulation is happening between the inferior articular process and the superior articular process. And see, there is minimal overlapping of the lamina in case of lumbar vertebrae. Then you can appreciate the distance between the superior articular process is more than the distance between the inferior articular process. Now, here you can appreciate this is anterior longitudinal ligament, and this is the attachment of the posterior longitudinal ligament. Here also you can appreciate this is anterior longitudinal ligament, this is the posterior longitudinal ligament. Here you can appreciate this is spinous process, this is spinous process, and in between the two there is interspinous ligament, and here on the posterior border of the spine there is attachment of the supraspinous ligament, and this ligament is the ligamentum flavum. If we cut it here, you can appreciate the ligamentum flavum here on the anterior surface of the lamina. Then in between the two transverse processes, you can appreciate intertransverse muscle or intertransverse muscle. Here also you can appreciate intertransverse muscle, and in between the two spinous processes you can appreciate interspinal muscle or interspinous muscle. Here this muscle is the multifidus, which is attached on the spinous process as well as on the mammillary. Now here you can appreciate the three layers of thoracolumbar fascia. This is a lumbar vertebra. On the anterior surface of the transverse process there is a ridge where you can appreciate the anterior layer of thoracolumbar fascia. On the tip there is middle layer of thoracolumbar fascia, and on the spinous process here this is the posterior layer of thoracolumbar fascia. This muscle which is anterior to the ridge present on the anterior surface of the transverse process, this is the psoas major muscle, and this is the fascia covering the psoas major. In between the anterior layer of thoracolumbar fascia and the middle layer of thoracolumbar fascia there is quadratus lumborum muscle, and between this middle layer of thoracolumbar fascia and posterior layer of thoracolumbar fascia, this whole thing is the deep muscles of the back, which includes erector spinae and the multifidus muscle. Hope it is clear. If there is any doubt, please write it in comment section. Thank you.